kind of beautiful forested area here. We are in Parque Florencia near Antigua, Guatemala, and it's a very large area. It used to be an old motocross all through the woods, you know, and now there's a small village out here. It's a very big complex, very big park. There's forest trails and different things, and we've done a little bit of hazard reduction in this big Quercus, and it's Game of Trees. We're having fun. Go to gameoftrees.com, and all your purchases help support this project. And Game of Trees, we're having fun. And so are they. We got the park, the municipal workers from Antigua, and some Forest Service folks down there. Game of Trees, we're having fun. Yeah. All right, we're working our way up into a big Quercus. Look at the epiphytes. That altitude is brutal. So I put my lanyard on. All right. My ascent system fell off my saddle yesterday, and it was up in it's in a tree. Forgot to get it. So Jorge Mario had this old CMI double ascender, but back in the day, this little trigger, this releases this. This makes it secure here with the camp. But I was climbing one time, and I came through branches like this, and the branches opened this. This came open, and I came off at 10 feet above the ground, and I rappelled on my right hand to the ground. I had my left hand on the ascender. I was on the rope like this. Landed flat on my back. So that camp ascender, or the turbo lock, is a great backup. I don't even have to go out there. This is the best tie-in. A lot of times you can't tell from the tree, right? So we got some service wires down here, and they're fairly fragile, let's just put it that way, and they don't want to lose their power in these little houses. It's a tough climb out there. I will go this way. Okay, so this is kind of a tough climb. So I'm gonna work out here first, and I can cross over out there. Okay, so I can make a reduction right here. So that was a proper reduction cut. Now, we don't want to take off all of the small branches along the branch, or that's called a lion's tail. We want there to be branches all along the tree. So that's why I don't cut all these little branches off. It's when you cut all the little branches off and the only branches are out at the end. So when the wind comes, it's important to have these as a buffer. If it's only at the end, the wind just tears it off. This disperses the wind along the length of the branch. This is a lateral climb. I'm like on my knees. This is my line behind me. Gotta get up here. I want to see. This moss is slippery. Yeah, I almost slipped right there. Very important to use my lanyards here because my climbing line is very lateral. Oh. Oops. Now that's a redirect. All right, so you see how lateral we are. Way out there. Okay, I will do some pruning out here. Could we, let's send a rigging line up. The blanco con roja. All right, so yeah. No, just the rope. So this is a pretty cool, broad, spanning tree. So that was kind of a, you know, slippery climb with all the ferns. So I saw this crossover up here. So I will be able to traverse. I got my redirect up here. I'll be able to traverse across. I got a nice hand hold on that one. But we have the service wires below me, so even the small little quick hitch. Yes, perfect. I got one in each hand. Perfect for a lazy climber. For a prima donna. Okay, now I could probably run this on the moss as a natural crotch, but I have multiple carabiners, so I'll just run I mean, it would give a little friction. We're not going to take anything big, you know. The natural crotch on the moss might be more favorable, but you know, you're putting all that humus into your line that gets dirty quickly. This got dirty yesterday on the eucalyptus. The bark was so fibrous, it really dirtied up the rope. All right, so let's see here. We got our little service wire down there. So I've got one more light rigging sling. Where is it? Somewhere on the back of my saddle. Yeah, there we go. The at height carabiner. Same as the Big Dan, you know. They're essentially the same carabiner. This one they actually rated for a choking against something. So in a light rig, you might be able to have it just, you know, just on a ostagia or a throw or a bowline like this, and just wrap it around and choke it. It's rated for that. So I'm going to leave this small one. I'm going to take the bigger end off of there, and then I'll reduce that. So this is a gnarly twisted oak out here. Oh, we got deadwood. Ten cuidado. Okay. So we are going to, we'll go under like this. Try not to let go of this bad boy. Okay, I got it. Let myself out a little. This moss is very slippery, so I'm kind of leaning back against that. We'll tuck this under this little knob. Okay, just, oh, let's fix this friction. There we go. Now we won't be against it. Okay, you have a little bit of canopy friction, so just a hand rig will probably be fine. Okay, I'll go right here. I'll leave this piece of deadwood until I'm done out here. So get my lanyard on. All right, I went out a little ways on the branch so that I can cut right here close to my sling, but we'll make a little prep cut. This is Quercus tristis. It's very, very hard. It's probably like live oak. It's about 85 pounds per cubic foot. Okay, listo? Okay, we got vines. Yeah. It broke. Okay. Oh, lots of vines. Okay, we don't want these vines to cause problems. Wow. Pull it, can we pull it back up? Or can you use my throw line to pull it out of there? Or throw a throw line on it? Okay, we got vines. Lots of vines. We've done this many times in the States. We get vines once in a while. Oh, close. Yeah, one of the forestry guys wants to try it. Ata noodle. That will work. Un poquito más. Ah, yeah. Okay. Uno más. Okay, so that convinces me to take another one. So that branch I was standing on was dead. It looked like a live branch. It had epiphytes on it. We're gonna take off that one. All these vines are adding to the weight for a potential failure. I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna put this so I can go out easier. So you see how that carabiner right below, you know, helps this feed right into my akimbo. Look how crooked this oak grows. Can you send up the 3-strand on my climbing line? I will set a tag line so you don't have to do this again. So lots of good teaching experiences here. I mean, I just came in blind to this. I didn't know what I was looking at, but I brought, you know, lots of options with me for practical rigging. And so you have multiple tag lines. I have 2 actually. Then we got 2 half-inch rigging lines, several different slings, porter wrap. We don't need a porter wrap here though. We got lots of canopy friction. I think in the Bolsa Maria. Oh wait, no, is it that one? Ah, naranja. And este. Quick hitch. I will tie the flying bowline, the one that you can just untie. Now this one, I'm just gonna tie directly to the limb and let it hang down. So I want to come underneath this. I don't want it in the canopy. That won't serve any purpose whatsoever. Try to get out here a little ways. This will be far enough. I'm gonna tie what I call flying bowline. It's tied completely with the tail. So you take a bite under the standing part, then a round turn on the bite, then a bite through the bite. And right where your hand is helps you dress it. Then you turn it around and it chokes and it tightens down on there, but on the ground they can just pull the tail. Oh, my pants are really thin. It's climbing on my knees. Okay, here's my lateral right here. So yeah, the moss is not quite thick enough on these branches for my very thin pants. I'm gonna have a lot of red marks on my legs today. According to rock climbers, I'm a very sloppy climber. Okay, I'm gonna leave a stub and then I'll cut frisbees to avoid the line. That wood is so hard. ¿Está listo? This is a little heavier. You okay. All right, you're gonna have to pull the blue rope. You could try to hook the blue rope around the bottom. Go around the bottom of the branch and you'll have better leverage. Yeah. Que bueno. Yes. Perfecto. Con fuerza. Wow, there's lots of vines. Keep the white rope high. La blanca arriba. You better pull it back up or you're gonna hit the wires. Let out the white one. Let out the white one. More white. Let go of the white. Okay. Okay, little pieces coming down. Let's look at this. Okay, it's Quercus. You can see the large radial vessels, but it is ring porous. But it is, difficult to see the rings. But you can see that it is ring porous. It's got wet season wood and dry season wood. It's not really summer and winter here. So we're entering the dry season. So there's some larger vessels here, and now we'll have smaller vessels through the dry season. Up in the cloud forest, the Quercus sapatifolia, it's very hard to distinguish any rings. They say there's arguments among botanists if it's ring porous or diffuse porous. It's kind of a little of both. But this one is distinctly ring porous. Game of trees, we're having fun. Look at the compartmentalized wound from ages past, and this is growing, similar to it's a slow growing oak compared to like a mango tree or something that grows really fast. Okay, cuidado. Okay, a couple more. That is super hard. That's where I'm gonna stop. Oliver, could you save a couple of those cookies for some discussion later? It's my object lesson. This is gonna be flimsy. We're gonna come back this way. I'm gonna have to redirect another one. Okay, pull the white rope up to me. We're gonna go over here, make a couple reductions out here. Assembly yesterday. Get this up so it doesn't get in my way. 3 wraps and it's pretty good. Tell them we won't work through lunch today. All right. So now, oh, cuidado. Okay, we're gonna get up here. This is quite... Now, with a double lanyard, tell them I'm gonna traverse across. So I can use one side of my lanyard to safely let myself out to this branch, and then the other side of my lanyard to get onto that branch. So now I'm suspended between, and now I can let myself out. So before, that was kind of slippery. It's resbaladosa. But this was más fácil. It was easier. Resbaladosa. Resbalosa? Okay, shows you what I don't know. Oh, if only I would practice my Spanish. After 20 years, I'd be good at it. Yes, is this one of my rigging carabiners? Yes. But I'm going to use it for a redirect. From another redirect. So now my direct climbing line is right here. I'm gonna go down and take this one out below me. So for example, this is like it's pretty big cut. So it would be better to make a cut right here and leave this little branch, rather than make a bigger cut there. But we can take all that off. Okay, pull up the white line. Ready? It should come. I make an initial cut and then a finish cut. So now it maintains the form of a natural branch, and it won't have epicormic sprouts or whatever you call them. Now I could with this gyro lanyard, I can go to the center and I can do a double rope, moving rope system. I mean, it wouldn't, I just do it as an example. I could have used a regular lanyard. Okay, could you move my blue rope and pull up the orange rope? I'm just gonna drop these. Okay, my electrical wire is over there. I'm gonna go down to my knee here. Oh. All right, you see how that was caught in the other branch? If I would have cut here, maybe it swings over there. So now it will drop straight. Okay, now we... So now it's still the form of a natural branch, but it's much lighter. Okay, I'm gonna move back to a lanyard. So the gyro lanyard is very versatile. Oh, see? I hooked it on the accessory carabiner. Physically and visually check your connections. You always mira. Okay, I better. Okay, I think on this one, that's alive. I'm just gonna take off. Actually, this is all interacting. And that's a dead one. So oh, you devil. Okay, so all of this is interacting. So ho! El corredor es muy importante. Okay, you can look closely at what I did with the sling. When it comes down, look at what I did with the sling. ¿Está listo? Okay, debajo. That's good. That's good rig. Half hitch on the sling. Medio nudo. Because they were interacting, I didn't want to cut the support. I didn't want to cut the support without cutting the upper one. And if they were farther apart, I could make that half hitch with the rope. But here's an example of nature where a branch broke and it produces epicormic sprouts. And in the textbooks it would say, oh, the proper cut is here. But in nature often does this. And so the decay is out here and not here. That is a better scenario. It's pretty hard to convince people of this, but in storm work, when you have broken branches, sometimes, especially on larger limbs where that amount of decay would be significant, especially in a canopy, you've got a branch, and if you're going to make a 6-inch diameter cut and it's right at a union like this, maybe you choose to let the epicormics just keep this alive and you don't have decay at a potentially weak union where this branch is all out here. So and this is covered in the standard as a viable option to do. So do you think you could explain this, Oliver? What I just talked through on my camera. So there's this short branch, right? This was a natural break out here, and in nature, these epicormic sprouts, they keep this alive. So the decay is not here, where it would be more vulnerable to more breakage. And so it's not a bad idea to leave a situation like this. I'm going to drop a dead branch. But on a dead branch, we cut it right at the collar. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna traverse back. I suppose I like to wrap up these. Yeah. You mean over there? Yeah. Because it's a big cut? I could do it. It's discretionary. Now that I'm looking at it from this direction, yeah, I think I should take it. It's very long. So I couldn't see the perspective from over there, but now that you pointed out, so that's the benefit of somebody on the ground going, hey, what about that? Yeah, that's a very long, in fact, that is a lion's tail. Do you see? So that has a potential of breaking, and then it will get the wire. So I'll ask for the white line back. You can put the white line on my line. Yeah. Jorge Barrio, thank you for telling me now and not when I'm on the ground. When we're at Abuelo Johnson's house, she waits for me to be on the ground, and then she goes, oh, what about that one up there? Oh, okay. So this is a quick hitch. It's kind of a version of a bowline. And it's nice to just come undone. We'll come right over this spot and then underneath here. I like to tie the Yosemite before I'm dressed, and then it sets up nicely. Again, when you're coming over a mantle like that, I just have this carabiner down here always. It's just a quick vertical feed. Now I'm gonna bring this underneath here, and I'm gonna go down, grab one of these. Es pesado. Okay, cuidado. Little stub. Man, that is hard. Look, I'm throwing chips. But it is hard. That is hard stuff. Are you happy now, Jorge Mario? All right, now to come off of this limb, I am going to set up, because I left my akimbo on the bottom, I get to show a little old school again. Okay, I'm gonna bring my tail up and use the Blake hitch to come off of this limb because I'm super lateral. It would be dangerous to try to walk that back. You know, 1.5 meters, más o menos. And we'll tie a bowline with the Yosemite. And the Yosemite in this application is so that we can come right out the top of that bowline and tie a Blake's hitch. Now you have to really dress a Blake's hitch on this 11.8 millimeter rope because it's relatively stiff. So you have to really set it. Now I went and tied it without going in there, so I'm gonna get I have a carabiner. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I'll rob Peter to pay Paul. So now I will take this off. All right, I'm gonna want to weight my Blake's hitch here. Tie a little figure 8 knot or an overhand knot for a... Okay, now I can confidently extract my... I think I have enough line to get myself off of this tree. Where's my knot? Oh, it's way up there. I want to tighten up my other one. Oh yeah, I got plenty of line. Yeah. And my one will get shorter as I move that way. Up. This would be very sketchy if I didn't have 2 lines. This is what David did when he fell into the Saba. Now you just untie this and we can just retrieve it. Now I let that go. That wasn't smart. I should have held on to that. I did that for an example. What's that? Yeah, I'm a lazy climber. Hold on to your stuff. Did you say amazing? Or did you say lazy? Yeah, I'll give you a magnet. Okay. Somebody was here before. Do you see that? Where are you? I can't see you. Somebody was up here before. I'm not the first one. There's saw cuts. You know, somebody climbed up here. Yes, so he left the stubs. These are small enough I can take them off. Right. Es pesado. Yeah, very, very hard. So yeah, Quercus. Very dense. This is heavy. All right, that was exercise. Oh. I'm gonna leave my lanyard on right there. Okay. So, a little deadwood. Okay, here's an example. Okay, here's an example. I could cut with one hand, or I can cut with two. But I trust my equipment. If I have fear, this is a really big branch, but I can probably lighten it out there a little bit. So I'm gonna wiggle through here, make myself space. You know, the Yosemite just has a good lay. You know, instead of that rope hanging down here, it's up above. And you can make this shorter. It's a nice little 2-inch tail up here. All right, I can probably ultimately take off this one. Okay, take off some deadwood here. Look at this. This is curving back here like this. You know, could we take this off to here? Maybe. I just noticed that. It goes right to there. That's a pretty big cut. Is that, if that's alive, I might bring it back to there. It's, you know, not ideal ratio, but you know, under the circumstance, this is what's right over the well, the cistern. Oh man, were you asking me about the chainsaw being a hazard on my ropes? Oliver? Yes, it is. Okay, I just twisted myself. So I've got to get untwisted. This rigging line was hooked in 2 different carabiners on my backside. Oh, again. And then it feeds right in there. See that? Nicely. So let's see, yeah, so this is alive. So I could take this right to here. It's kind of a funky branch, but it probably works. So that means I could take all this weight off, and we could take this one off. Okay, we just swapped out a battery. So now I can come out of this carabiner because it kind of inhibits me. It's nice coming over, but now I got a little extra here. I can hang this up out of the way. I'm just gonna make a top cut here, right down, and we got enough room here for a bark peel. And we'll leave this little nub here. So this is real stable with the slings, but I'll leave a little swelling there. I should, just so I don't fall off here, set a lanyard behind me. I mean, I'm cutting out in front of me, but I'm cutting near my climbing rope is out in front of me, you know. a lot of times you're climbing ropes behind you and you think, oh, do I really need a lanyard? If I put a lanyard on in front of me, it's almost worse, you know. Okay, these are very sturdy oak branches, so I just need this for some balance. But now that gives me, I'm way more stable. Okay, don't pull it tight because my saw is close. Okay, I can make a little score under here. I'll just score it and then make the top saw. Déjelo. Déjela. I'm going to cut most of the way through here. I could probably flip that, but our equipment's down there too, so I don't want to hit anything. So I'll finish with the handsaw. Okay, small piece. Okay, so our power lines are right under here. You know, that's why they lifted it back up, because they didn't want to drag it. And who knows how fragile that wiring is. It is Guatemala, you know. Now, because I'm kind of going out here and the weight of my rope wants to pull that back, the theory is this could close the ascender and I could start slipping. In reality, there's a fair amount of friction there. All right, I'm gonna go. Lots of epiphytes. Yeah, so I'll take it right here and then I'll cut this last little stub off. Oh, hey, maybe let's take a little time here. Give me the 3-strand. Okay, a flying bowline, a round turn, and then a bite through the bite. And then you dress it, and then you turn it around, and you choke it. And it tightens down right on top of that. You want to maybe get against the tree a little bit. Hey, I'm going to hand cut. There's a dead one. I don't want it to break off, so I will cut it. All right, let's get back up here. I'm just hanging on these little branches here. Get this up out of my way. All right, listo? That's a pretty big one. At 85 pounds per cubic foot on the wood. There's a little bit of wood there, and plenty of moisture in the leaves, and a lot of water in the wood. Oh, The speed line. Yeah, way to go. He said, was it like a dead piece? So that's a great example on why I cut those. So there was one more dead piece that I did not see, or maybe it was farther out on the end and it broke loose and then got rode the blue line down. All right, I gotta tend this. So it takes a little management with these 3 lines. If you have them all adjusted, they're about foot level. All right, this is a lot lighter. All right, I don't need the blue line. We gotta protect. All right, this is dead. Yeah. Okay, cuidado. Ramita. Get down on my knees here. Get down on my knees for you. Okay, so we kind of got a funky thing here. I'm just gonna cut it out here. This will probably get some epicormics in time, and maybe not too much time out here, you know. Gotta shorten this up a little bit. Listo? Okay. Oh, right in the basket. We win. Okay, so now the question is, we could lighten up this one over here. And we got, oh, that's alive. So I can limb walk that right out there. But you know, with all that fauna or flora under there, it's probably not much. But we could probably make one reduction out there and make that quite a bit more secure. I think this is pretty robust. That would be hard to get one off over there, and there's so many trees down there it won't do anything. But maybe this long one that comes over here, we can shorten that up. Okay, I'm gonna tap out for a short while. All right, shut my camera off. Must have bumped it. All right, you tie the white line onto the blue line. Okay, you can pull up the slack on the blue. Okay, pull up the blue line, pull the slack off the blue line. cut a little bit, leave a little stub to cut. Listo? All right, perfect. Is this dead? Yeah, that's dead. Yes. Little dead branch. Okay, I'm gonna close out the video here. This was a Quercus tristis, sand oak. Tristis is sand in Spanish. It's pretty wide spreading. We've got a workstation down here. The ladies of the little village here utilize this area with the cistern quite often. And so we kind of got rid of some dead. I see a little piece of deadwood I'll get here, but we had some long heavy branches, and you know, similar in the States too, these long branches can tend to get compression tension cracks and fail. And so they wanted to make this a little safer, which we have done. Plus they had electrical service coming through here. We had some long branches over the service, and actually the service comes up in here, so we reduced this and we've made this, you know, much more stable. Kind of a beautiful forested area here. We are in Parque Florencia near Antigua, Guatemala, and it's a very large area. It used to be an old motocross all through the woods, you know, and now there's a small village out here. It's a very big complex, very big park. There's forest trails and different things, and we've done a little bit of hazard reduction in this big Quercus, and it's Game of Trees. We're having fun. Go to gameoftrees.com, and all your purchases help support this project. And Game of Trees, we're having fun. And so are they. We got the park, the municipal workers from Antigua, and some Forest Service folks down there. Game of Trees, we're having fun.
Playing the game of trees.